Hey everybody, welcome back to Spill the Beans Coffee Chat. This is the weekly Facebook show where we can have conversations with some of the kindest, smartest, and most brilliant professionals in their industry. The goal of these Spill the Beans is to take some of their knowledge and apply it to our own lives to be able to make smarter decisions and just really make life a little bit easier. Today, I have Gretchen on the Facebook show with me. She is a mortgage agent with Mortgage Alliance. She has 15 years of experience, and I actually met her on social media on Instagram, and she's just a great resource. So I thought I'd bring her on. We can ask her some questions. I will turn it over to her so she can give you a little bit of background about who she is, who she helps, and what she does.
Okay, thank you so much, Megan. I'm thrilled to be here. As you said, I'm a mortgage agent and I'm a financial problem solver. I take people's situation where they need money. So maybe they want to create their vision to build a business. They want to invest in real estate. They want to buy their first home. Or maybe they already own a home and they've got some debt they want to move around to try to save on unnecessary interest. So I love looking at each person's unique situation and problem solving to see what's the best solution for them and their family. And I specialize in helping the self-employed as well as real estate investors who maybe are buying their first rental or their 10th rental, because they tend to have a hard time at the banks. And I love when they've gone to the bank and the bank either says no, or yeah, you can borrow 200, and I can find ways that at low interest rates, they can get much more than that and build their net worth or solve their financial problem. So it's really rewarding to be able to do that. And I also love first-time buyers because they often have a lot of questions. And if they go to, certain institutions, they may be kind of not given a lot of time because at the bank, there might be a queue of 15 people who they need to talk to. So I'm not going to rush them. I'm going to give them whatever time they need and help them through the process so they can feel comfortable and knowing what to expect along the way.
Okay, that's awesome. So can you just go over what the difference is between a mortgage agent and maybe what if you went to the queue at the bank and the mortgage, would it be a mortgage agent or a representative or something? What's the difference?
So at a bank or a credit union, wherever, they may call them a mortgage agent. They may have the same title that I have. The difference would be that I am their personal agent acting on their behalf. And I look at their short-term goals and long-term goals and then determine what solution might be best based on 60 or so lenders. So I'm not saying, hi, you've come to me at TD Bank. This is the TD Bank option. I'm saying, okay, here's the TD Bank option, here's the credit union option. These are the options, and I recommend 1, 2, maybe even 3. Let's look at these, and then help them determine, based on my recommendation, what we should be possibly doing based on many different lenders, and kind of doing the shopping for them and educating them along the way so they are certainly part of the process as much as they choose to be. Mm-hmm. And then I would say, then just making that selection for them. And another thing important to know is that there is not, in most cases, there's no fee because I'm paid. By most of the lenders, I am paid. Occasionally, like if we have to do a private mortgage or something, there might be a fee. If there is a fee, it's told right from the start. There's no surprises. But in most cases, like if we determine, hey, here's the best option at Scotiabank or Meridian or whatever, they do pay the fee and there's no extra cost to the customer to use my services.
Okay, that's really good to know. And I think that not a lot of people know about that type of arrangement. I know when I first started with my real estate investing, I just went to the bank that I held my home personal mortgage with, just because that's all I really knew. And as I started acquiring more and more properties and became self-employed, things changed drastically, and that same institution just wasn't as accommodating to me as I expected them to be. So going to somebody like you that would be able to say, okay, there are different products, there are different options, different lenders with different products. And from what I've seen, this might be a better fit for you. I think that that can be invaluable. So like I was saying in the introduction, I first found you on Instagram with a post about a maximum mortgage amount, I think it was. And I am a sucker for easy rules of thumb. Anything that will sink into my brain without me having to fully understand the foundations behind it. And this post was super good. So now that things are a little different, nothing is normal, or maybe this is our new normal and it just feels really weird. I have a lot of questions when it comes to mortgages, and I want to address one of the common ones that has to do about interest rates, because they are low right now. Is this an opportunity for families to pursue refinancing or to consider some changes, or what do you think?
Well, I think that's a great question. And I do think it's a really excellent time, not only because of rates, but because people may not be quite as busy to really look at their situation and to find ways to avoid paying unnecessary interest. There are definitely situations where people are paying, a $10,000 balance at 24%, say on a credit card. Maybe not even that high, maybe it's only 8%. However, consolidating it into a mortgage could be as low as around 3% or even less if you look at the variable option. So I definitely think it makes sense to look at and to just confirm if the person's in the right spot with how they have the money set up right now and their debt. Also, it's a great time to reduce monthly payments, because if you're paying high interest, you're probably also paying high payments. So you may be able to restructure in such a way that you could save thousands. It's not often thousands, but it's often hundreds or over $500 a month. Somebody could be saving on interest and use that money to build up either, put in investments, or if they don't have any emergency or savings fund, they now feel like, oh my gosh, I do need that. Now I know I need that. It can build that up just by doing the restructuring. And you of course could be part of that process as well of saying, this is what I recommend, and here's someone we can work with. So great time.
Yeah, okay, that's really helpful. So now let's address some other, I don't know if they would be opportunities or benefits or just options for people, because now is tough and it's uncomfortable for all the facets of life, emotionally, socially, financially, career-wise. And one of the first offers that was floating around on social media and the internet in general was the option to defer your mortgage payment. What advice or information can you offer on that option?
Well, I definitely recommend that people first look at their overall situation over the next 3, if possible, they can look as far as 6 months. That might not be possible, but even the next 3 months. Look at what money do they have coming in, including their income, including any government programs maybe they're going to take advantage of, and what are their monthly costs, their absolute minimum that they have to spend perhaps on, let's say if they didn't do a deferral, how much would they need to maintain the mortgage and other monthly payments and the food on the table and pay your utilities, and determine, do they really have a shortfall or not? Because some people are just panicking. They're not getting down into the real numbers, and the numbers will give you the answers. So I think it's important first, and then use, yourself, myself, people to help maybe give a spreadsheet or maybe give an app that can help them to kind of map it all out, because a lot of people get overwhelmed of, I don't know where to start. And because the emotions are there, people are not as able to be as intellectual about it sometimes. So with the help of professionals to say, let's look at it, and determine, do you need the deferral? And if you do determine after the evaluation that, I really need the deferral, then you've at least done it from an educated standpoint. The thing to keep in mind is that the deferral is going to mean you're going to pay more interest, because they're going to set it up that in such a way that you do pay more interest by doing a deferral. There is a myth that it hurts your credit. It does not hurt your credit. I have myself called Equifax. I've also been part of a webinar from Equifax, and it is not going to hurt your credit. However, it could hurt your borrowing ability. So let's say you do a deferral and then it ends up later, your monthly payments have gone up. And then later you maybe had wanted to buy that rental property or do a refinance. And because you have higher debts, you could potentially not get that money you need later without some challenges. So it's always good to talk to people. And if you decide, I think I want this, definitely talk to the lender offering it to make sure they explain to you the short-term situation as well as long-term. How are they going to set it up? Are you going to have payments increased by $100 a month in 6 months or whatever, so that you can at least know how it's going to affect you, decide if you need it. And then if you decide you do need it, like I feel, okay, go for it, have peace of mind and move on. Don't dwell on it. And you did what you needed to, and you evaluated it properly based on your situation.
Yeah, I am 100% on the same page as you for that, especially because it's really, really hard to make rational choices when you're in a state of stress or uncertainty, which, to be honest, we are all in right now. Whether your income hasn't changed, whether it has, there are so many other components that affect your decision-making abilities. Like, even if you're used to being around other people all the time and now you are not. So there are so many things to put into perspective. So to bring it back to the foundation, let's look at the numbers. Let's talk to somebody who does this for a living and see what their thoughts are. I think is really good advice. For Canadians right now, is there one last piece of advice that you would want to end this conversation with?
Well, I don't know if I can put it in only one, but I guess what I would say first, I feel I'm actually born American. I have dual citizenship. I've lived in Canada for 30 years. I am grateful right now to be a Canadian. I am grateful for our government, both in Ontario and federally. I feel that they're doing, in comparison to a lot of other countries, doing a good job and are looking after us as best they can and are acting as quickly as they can. So I think that's definitely something to be grateful for. I would also say, look after yourself on a day-by-day basis. I know me personally, some days I'm just overwhelmed. It's like, I can't take in any more new information. I need to just keep things simple and not get overwhelmed. And then maybe the next day I'm like, hey, bring it all back in. I'm open. I'm going to be on social media. I'm going to watch free webinars. So just be patient and compassionate with yourself and others each day, and just do your best each day and find ways. I do think, like today, I realized something was on my mind, and I spoke to Bob, my fiance, about it. And afterwards, it wasn't like he really said much. Just getting it out and being able to talk and communicate and hear myself, I went, oh, I'm good now. It's out of my head. I'm good. And laughing. I think laughing's great as much as possible.
I think those are all super helpful. And I think sometimes we all also just need that permission slip from someone else to say, it's a really crappy time. There's no nice way to say it. And it's totally okay to laugh. So don't worry. Don't put shame on yourself. Take it day by day. And the literal only way to get through this is all together. So now is the time to just have some more compassion for yourself, for your neighbor, for a stranger on social media. Now is the time to just, take some deep breaths and be patient.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks so much for joining us, Gretchen. And if people want to reach out and chat with you, what is the best place for them to do that?
Well, they can call me at 905-579-4412, or go to my website, go to GretchenCasey.com and read stuff there, or my email, which is Gretchen@mortgagesbygretchen.com.
Okay, that's awesome. I'll put all those in the notes. Thanks again for joining, and I look forward to connecting with you again.
Thank you so much. Thanks for this opportunity. I love your energy. I love your attitude. I love the tools you offer through your website and everything. So I'm grateful to have been with you and your audience today.
Thanks so much.